I think this project is blossoming to the point. Am I talking loud?
A little bit, Tim.
I think this project is blossoming to the point where it's time to
make it happen.
Do it. I mean, that's what I am. I'm a do it guy. You know?
Yeah, get her
And
done.
us tell some bunch of stories, guy.
Well, hey, I'm just making it worth your money. You know what I'm saying?
We appreciate that.
Well, I mean, like I said, I like it too,
It
but two things happen. People sometimes misjudge the percussion instruments and turn that crap up too loud. Now, not that yours is, but it happens. But I'm going to tell you, I have to go back and check mine if I'm doing a tambourine or a shaker.
Sure.
I have to go back.
Ow, ow.
Come on, y'all,
I'll
let's
sit
go.
for you.
Walking down a blue road, some rose in the sky. I'm looking for an answer, though I can't remember why. A scarlet bird is singing an invisible refrain. Summer winds are blowing. It says, oh, that way.
Those are my favorite 3 chords if you haven't noticed.
What now?
Those are my favorite 3 chords if you haven't noticed.
Maybe because I've been listening to your stuff and playing it.
You recognized it, huh?
Well, I mean, it could be because I've been sitting there, you know, trying to get our little list together. And, you know, I think Mary found me because of Playground Recording Studio, which we had just sold earlier this year, just because it was too large and I didn't want to continue operating it. But so anyway, I agreed to do her not her backing vocals, but basically all of her final vocals here at my house, which is what we're doing, and it's turning out great. The singers are doing fantastic. Greg has done a great job making the tracks. Nakara and Evelyn have done a great job singing as well as Greg, and you know, I hope the project turns out good for Mary. My role in this actual production here is I'm just simply the engineer and the mastering engineer, and I'm going to put the product together for her, ready for manufacturing, and I help any other ways that I can.
Okay. Now, how long have you been doing this? The engineering side?
Really, I didn't start out as an engineer, but I've probably been turning the tape recorder on and off for 40 years. Yeah, 40 years.
Okay. And how long have you had this home recording?
Well, of course, you know, everything changed in the late 90s when digital recording was invented, but of course we started out with analog multi-track recording. I did recordings. You know, I worked for Ace Records. I did recordings at Phillips Recordings, at Ardent. I'm basically a Memphis guy, although I did spend a little time in Nashville. But as far as engineering, I believe I became an engineer on a Dan Penn session at Ardent, and my first, because I was the one left that could press go, and then I learned from there. There were no schools. There were no audio schools back then. In fact, there weren't for a long time. And then I remember everybody in Nashville. In fact, I was in Nashville at the time, so it must have been mid-'80s, when interns became available from all the schools, you know. Anyway, so... but that wiped a lot of guys' jobs out. Didn't affect mine much, but all of a sudden, a whole, you know, here's people doing for free what you know, we were getting paid to do. Anyway. So yeah, I've been doing it quite a while. As far as the home stuff, sometime, let's see, right around the last year of 1999, 2000 or so, maybe it was a little later even, I came to a point where I realized I had to take what I knew from analog recording and be able to apply it to digital recording. It was after one of our hurricanes down here, and I had a little extra insurance money, and so I went to Nashville, and a lot of my friends are musicians up there, and we had we cut 5 or 6 of my son's things up there, and I put them on a hard drive and brought them down here and learned how to do enough so I can make a record. That's all. I'm not you can call me a programmer, but so I know we've been doing that since early 2000s. I mean, basically at this point in my life, I'm semi-retired, so I kind of pick what I want to work with, you know. Mary, I picked Mary because I liked her melodies. They're unusual. They're not, being a roots musician and a recorder and musical archaeologist, you know, I have certain likes, but I also liked Mary's little jazz approach. I liked her lyrical approach, and when I say lyrical, not just having to do with the words, but having to do with the words and the music. These are all prayers, basically, that it's not a bow your head prayer, it's a speak it out loud prayer and hope many people hear it. But anyway, there were certain things that attracted me about it, and so that's, you've caught us now and trying to finish it up.
Let's just do it again. Here we go. My soul
has been a battleground for the light. My eyes are strained to pierce the darkness.
My soul. Oh, I said I.
Yes, you did. But it's okay. I was like,
my fingers soul is weary with the fight. And it goes. Then you touched me, and I'm surprised by your.
girl, you can sing this up in that Yolanda Adams range.
Oh. You are the tenderness in a world dark and cold. Oh, I'm Lord have mercy. I got the home.
Maybe you guys should alternate verses. There's 7 verses.
There's 7?
Oh no, no, not me. You mean the 2 of them?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I thought you meant me.
No, it's wrong. She alone.
What now? What? What?
No.
Well, it's a great musical style you've got. How did you do that in college, or did you
No.
play that type of music?
No.
How did you begin your musical career?
Oh, Jim's like deep, man. Wow, that's a long story.
Well, give us the 2-line version.
Well, I've always been fascinated, always been in love with music. I could sing, and my mom tells me I could recognize beats and stuff when I was 10 months old. And didn't major in music until I was in my 20s. Never pursued music till I was in my 20s. Didn't get really serious about it till I was in my 30s, and then got super serious until my 40s. God just opened some doors for me. I went back to college at the age of 45, 46, majored in jazz performance. And at the same time, it just so happened that when I went back to college, the professors that were there at the college, my jazz piano teacher was the pianist for the Tonight Show band. My composition and music theory teacher was voted one of the top 5 composers of the 20th century. And he taught for 1 year at University of West Florida. And it was the 1 year, I was there 2 years, but he was there the 1 year I was there.
When did you first meet Mary?
You don't even remember, do you?
We were still here in Niceville. First met Mary. She called me. And we set up a meeting, and it was like 6 weeks or something before we finally got to meet. Because we went back and forth. And you told me that her kids were taking lessons with Tillman, but they looking for something a little different to do. And Mary first called me on this project about these songs that were near and dear to her, and I signed on to do them. And we've been working on them pretty much ever since.
As long as you have the heart of the song. That's what
I want to fly to the moon and see the shining stars at my side. I want to run, to laugh, to be, to feel, to see and go so very far, very far. I want to run, to laugh, to be. I want to run, to laugh, to be, to feel, to see and go so very far, very far, very far, very far. Oh. Okay, yeah. Very far. Oh, Jesus.
You got it. You got it.
Where are these? I'm sure they're not even on the piano.
You're hitting them, though. I don't know what you're complaining about.
They're there.
You're hitting them.
They're there.
Okay, so at the same place, please.
I guess if I wanted anybody to know anything about the songs, it would be that they're all prayers. And the title of the album, Blue Road, has to do with my personal journey into faith and finding the way to hope and light and truth. And along that journey there's been a lot of darkness, but the darkness has only pointed to the light. So all of these songs have sprung from moments of sometimes happiness and sometimes darkness, but they've all been about my journey towards finding truth. And to me, truth and light are interchangeable. Truth and light is all about God and finding authenticity, finding relationships with people, and it's not about being isolated, it's about coming together with people. So it's natural that this album would be more about the people that are involved in the album than the album itself. I'm very humbled and grateful that all of the people have come together. Greg and Jim and Nakara and her mom Evelyn and Samani and you, Jason, have come together and made something beautiful. And I hope it's all for God's glory and not for vain glory. Each one of the songs is a definite prayer, and I could go into each one of the songs, but that would take a lot of time. I hope the songs and the lyrics speak for themselves. And it's about hope, and I want people who listen to this music to be encouraged.
Don't be afraid to change, relax, let the music rise. Tear out the bonds of fear, take off your disguise. Arise.
That's a bunch of la-la-las.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, Mary, she talked about me and the fish, but she got carried away. But that's nice. That's your first song you ever wrote when you were 16.
That's why I said it was the first song, so you guys would laugh at me.
You notice we laugh about many things, but we never laugh about your songs.
Let the freedom of happiness come on inside. Let the music of love put a song into your heart. Don't be afraid to change, relax, let the music rise. Tear out the bonds of fear, take off your disguise. Oh.
think what it has to be is la 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 la. It's a bunch of la la las.
Can't stand it. I had to do it. Too many la-las. That's what you said. There was too many
You know what?
la-las.
After all that fussing I did, I think I'm the one to mess that up.
All right. I think that's a wrap.
I'm happy.